made space to love myself in the parts of me that weren't filled up by man, the gaps, instead of doing it the other way around. I wanted them to give me the love. I had never tried to fully give it to myself, or I would do it in temporary spurts, waiting for a man to come in and do it for me again. They never really did, though. Not like I wanted, not like I needed, not like I was hoping for. More so, the illusion of love. But what did I know? I hadn't truly cultivated the idea of love that was best for me. I took whatever they gave me and interpreted it as love because that's what they said it was, even though it didn't really feel like it. But who am I to decide what love is? I would think to myself. If they're saying that this is love, then this is it, even when my gut knew otherwise. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I knew it wasn't right. But I'd rather that than nothing, or what I perceived as nothing, because I always had myself. I just didn't think her love counted.
Hey everybody, it is Amani and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so sorry it's taken so long for me to come back on here and do another sit down video, but I got a very encouraging message today. A comment on one of my old videos that really gave me the encouragement that I needed to hop on here and do an updated video. So much has changed in my life. Lots of major updates over the past couple of months, and I wanted to come on here and share everything with you. So recently I began my Decentering Men journey, men journey, and it has really helped me just to unpack a lot about who I am, my personality, my goals, my identity, and it has been the most fulfilling couple of months of my entire life. I just had a birthday recently. I just turned 31. Hey, hello. And I'm all about living life on my terms and figuring out what my terms are, because it wasn't until I began this journey that I realized just how much of my life has been taken up by men, been about men, been for men since damn puberty. So let's unpack that. If you haven't already, please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. If you've heard about Decentering Men, if you have considered embarking on that journey, I implore you to stay tuned and listen to this video. So I have been seeing a therapist for on and off. I've been in therapy for the past 6 years, but recently for the past year, I have been with one therapist, and she really changed my life. I had a really rough go at it the past few years, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a relationship that did become super toxic and abusive, very emotionally abusive, a lot of manipulation going on, and eventually it led to my ex stalking me, legit stalking me. So I had to move, I had to reset my life, and shortly after that, I entered another relationship that was not the healthiest either, and it just wasn't what I needed at the time. I had went from one toxic environment to another relationship that was not healthy, and I really just was talking to my therapist about it towards the end of my last relationship, and I was like, you know, I don't know what to do. Like, this is just becoming too much for me. It's just taking such a toll on my mental health. Like, my peace is pretty much non-existent. I'm having constant anxiety, so much stress. I don't know what's gonna happen one day for the next, and you know, I really do love him, and that's what makes this so hard. And that's what that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks, because my therapist's response to that was not at all what I was expecting. So I'm telling her, you know, I love him, but this relationship is hurting me. This relationship is causing me so much stress. This relationship is causing me so much anxiety. Like, I'm just not happy. I'm more upset than I'm happy. And she was like, okay, you love him, but Amani, do you love yourself? And hearing someone ask you that question is really like kind of groundbreaking, because we all assume that we love ourselves. Like, you don't think that you hate yourself. You're like, you know, I take care of myself. I work hard, you know, I go to the gym, I do my facial mask. Like, I love myself. But you don't think about it in the capacity of like what loving yourself really means. A person who loves themselves doesn't put themselves in harm's way. A person who loves themselves doesn't continue to stay in relationships that are hurting them and that are draining them. And my therapist pointed out to me this thing that I do, and she was like, Amani, every time you're in a relationship, you're so quick to abandon yourself. Why do you do that? And, you know, I pressed further and I was like, well, what do you mean by that? And she was like, everything about you goes away and you put your needs in the back seat just for the sake of being in a relationship. And, you know, she was like, so you need to figure out, like, why do you do that? Why are you so quick to abandon yourself just for the potential to be with somebody? Like, is being in a relationship worth losing yourself, worth losing your own self-respect, worth losing your own peace, worth putting yourself, again, in literally harm's way, physically, mentally, emotionally? Is relationship worth all of that? And that was a hard pill for me to swallow because I had never really thought about it that way. When we talk about self-love, we don't think about what it actually really means to love yourself. And when that conversation was brought up, it really put things into a different perspective for me, because for the longest, I didn't think that loving yourself was like enough to make you happy. And that is sad. You know, and I think that's something that women deal with. You know, we are told from the time that we are born, we are fed that, listen, ladies, if you don't end up married, if you're not with a man, then there's something wrong with you. If you don't end up partnered up or married or become a wife, then your life isn't fulfilled. And we're told this all the time, from Disney movies, from our media, from magazines, from playing with dress-up dolls and baby dolls and putting on wedding dresses and doing all of this stuff that programs us to operate in society in a way that makes us feel like we have this looming goal over our life. And if we do not complete this goal, then our life is for naught. We're told if you don't become a wife and a mother, then you're not successful. Even though you can have a business, you can have skills, you can be talented, you can make money, you can have a home, you can build a life for yourself that's fabulous and worthwhile. But we're told if you're not in a romantic relationship, then there's something wrong with you, you're not living your life to the fullest, and you are a failure. And that is something that I bought into. I bought into believing that if I'm not married, if I don't end up with a boyfriend, if I'm not in a relationship, then I'm not doing life right. And because of that, I ended up being in so many situations due to being desperate for that partnership and connection. And it wasn't until I moved on to depedestalizing partnership that I realized that I am enough. I'm enough. I don't need a boyfriend or a husband or to be talking to somebody or to be dating or to be texting a man for my life to have value. I can create that intrinsic value from within. The love that I can give into myself, that I can pour into my family, that I can pour into building community and a career and my pets. And I can still have a full, happy life and not become a wife or mother. And that is something that I had to realize, because marriage is not a goal that most women can control. And in saying that, I mean, yeah, we could all be married, but if you make it a goal, then you're always beholden to this goal. It's just like saying, I want to run a marathon. You start training for the marathon and you start doing things in preparation for you to hit this marathon. And I think that when we as women start training ourselves up to be wives and mothers, it puts us into this perpetual servitude to men. And our value lies in them picking and choosing us. And I know I did that a lot. I went through, and it's not even like I was a pick-me, quote unquote, and like the type of pick-me that like tears down other women, because that's never been my bag. You know, I'm a girl's girl down. But a pick-me in the sense of I am constantly creating an image of myself that is appealing to men. Like I was lusting / thirsty for the male gaze in all type of ways. And whenever I could finally take that positioning out of my brain and just kind of live for myself, that's when life really started to become fulfilling for me. Because a lot of times we don't realize just how much we do is for male attention. So the main concept that I've started to adopt and that I'll continue to adopt is love you first. I have decided to take a full year off from dating, from sex, from texting, from any type of dealings with men, just so I can break that discomfort of not dealing with them. Because as women, especially a woman in your 30s, you're told that, you know, your body is starting to rot away. You'll wither into nothing and just be with your cats. And, you know, as much as you want to not believe that stuff, you have to train yourself that that stuff is a lie. And you have to create a life for yourself that's worth living and without the distractions of men. And I've noticed that, shoot, I've been giving men attention since I was my first crush when I was like 13. From the point that I was 13 until 31, I have been dealing with a man in some type of way, whether that's we go together as middle schoolers and that just means we hold hands after class, or in college being in full-blown relationships, in my early adulthood being in full-blown years-long relationships. I have not been not in a relationship for an extended period of time since before I was even talking to boys. And that is a crazy realization, because it shows like, damn girl, how are you supposed to even ever get an opportunity to learn yourself or love yourself or put yourself first if you've never been in the position to do that? You've always been occupying that loneliness or that space of emptiness with something that isn't inward. You haven't filled it with a hobby or new interests or time to look inward and journal or therapy or anything. You've just always been filling that space with male attention, whether it's to just go on dates aimlessly and not even care what the outcome is, but it's like, oh, well, I just need to, I'm single right now, so I should be dating, I should be on the apps, I should be hanging out with guys. And that's always what I had seemed to do, but I'm just in a time where it's like, I want to give myself that attention. I want to pour into myself and invest in myself in the ways that I would invest in these relationships, because I would always show up to these relationships being my very best self. I was truly the manic pixie dream girl. Like, I would work so hard and just give every inch of my love and support and energy to these relationships. And I realized that I had never taken the time to give that to myself. And I was like, imagine if all of the emotional support, love, therapy, all of the stuff that I poured into relationships, imagine if I poured that same effort into the relationship I have with myself, with my community, with my friendships, with my family. Imagine what my life could look like putting that much effort into my own life and building up my own world. And that's what this journey is about. So we're 2 months into this journey right now, and I've never felt better. I have literally never felt better. It is just so much peace in my life. And it's some peace that I never knew that I could have. I didn't know I could get this peaceful. Truly, I didn't know it was possible. But I'm really excited for what this year is going to show me. I'm really excited to see what I can learn. I'm building a business. I'm fostering my relationships in new ways. I'm really leaning into myself and my interests and my desires and my style and figuring out who I am, what I like, what makes me happy, what brings me peace, what are my goals outside of partnership. Once we de-pedestalize ending up married, you can really put other things on a pedestal, or we really shouldn't pedestalize anything, but it just shows you how big the world is and how vast our life goals can be. Y'all, we're gonna be on this earth for a very long time. I'm only 31. If the Lord says the same, I got at least another 50, 60 years left of life. Marriage isn't the end all be all of life. And once we can really understand that, you can start to really think about how you want to build your life. So I'm going to let dating and men take a backseat to my life, like Amani has been taking a backseat to her own life. And I'm going to put me in the front seat and see what the outcome can actually become. Salem has joined the chat. Whew. So I have said a lot, y'all, but I'm just really excited about this journey. I'm excited to see how far I can really take this. I'm saying a year, but who knows? I could be doing this for multiple years. I could be doing this for a good long while. But I've done the relationship thing on and 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 on. And that hasn't gotten me to the level of self-respect that I need. It hasn't gotten me to the level of boundaries that I've needed. It hasn't gotten me to a level of sustained peace that I've needed. So being able to step away from relationships, decentering men from my aesthetic, from my brain space, from dating, just decentering male attention totally and focusing that energy into myself for an entire year, I'm very excited to see how that's going to turn out. So please leave some comments down. Let me know if you have embarked on a decentering men journey. Tell me what that looks like for you. Tell me about some stories that you may have heard from other people. But yes, we are taking men off the table, sex off the table, dating off the table. Not to get stuck into another side tangent, but sex is also, that's a huge thing for me, because it's like, I feel like so many times as women, especially when you're in committed relationships for a long term, you just feel like I'm just here to meet their sexual desires and that's it. Like, I'm here to get this man sex and attention, and what am I getting in return? So being able to take that pressure off of myself is huge. It's like, oh my God, I don't have to bleep. I don't have to. And there's no pressure for me not to. That feels great. But yes, thank you guys for listening. Please tune in. I'm gonna probably do another update of this whole Decentering Men series. If you want me to go into more details about some of the lessons that I've learned on this journey, I would absolutely love to. I've learned so much. I've had a lot of crazy experiences that have led me to this path, but ultimately I wouldn't change a thing, because it's made me the woman that I'm presenting to you all today. And this is a woman that I freaking love the real way, not the pretend way. Not the way when my therapist asked me, do you love yourself way, but like, I'm fostering that real self-love. And just remember that Amani is enough. Whatever, insert your name here. You are enough. You have to love yourself first before you can love anybody. And the love that you foster and give yourself is enough. Your love for yourself counts as love. And I know that's easy. It's easy to dismiss that. We think that it has to be this external thing that we get from the man for some reason. It's not. Platonic love is beautiful. Self-love is beautiful, and it counts, and it's fulfilling, and it can be better than any fantasy of, a relationship that you can imagine. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's probably a little longer than my videos usually are for the sit downs, but I just really appreciate you guys watching to the end. And please stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, help your girl grow. We're a baby channel. And I will see you guys next time.